Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tania and today's video is another collab video. I reached out to Autumn, to Yota, to Gwenny, to Winnie, and we are all working together to show you and talk to you about our luxury designer jewelry. Now when I say luxury designer, for me, I will not be talking about the big guns, the big boys in the playground. I'm going to be talking about more of the luxury costume jewelry, so more of the plated jewelry, or maybe some of the leather cuffs or the leather pieces and so on. And the reason why I thought of that is because I have so many of them that I'm thinking that I have too much. And if you've been watching me for some time, you will recognize that I have been wearing the same pieces of jewelry over and over again, to the point that a lot of these luxury designer pieces of jewelry, costume predominantly, are just not getting used. In fact, I have a couple that I've not even worn at all. Still brand new. I know. That's bad. Let me get started and share these pieces with you. And if you notice throughout the video that my voice is wavering, it's because I actually have tonsillitis and I haven't had an infection in I don't know how long, so I'm feeling a little bit under the weather, but we will prevail and we will push on. So let's get on to the jewelry. What I thought I'd do is show you each of the pieces that I will be referring to, give you my impressions of them, and then also talk about whether I think they're actually worth it. For me, coming from my perspective, the way I use or don't use. First piece is this beautiful leather cuff from Balenciaga. I bought this from Rebans a few years ago and I love this piece. It's not going anywhere. I intend to start wearing it again, but in order for me to wear these type of pieces, it means that I would need to remove the other pieces that are more permanent fixtures, so to speak, on my arms. But that's a beautiful piece, and that picks up on the Giant hardware, which is on their city bags. If you'd like a more detailed review of any of these pieces, please let me know and I'm happy to do that for you. Next piece is a fun piece, and I really should wear this more often. I bought this for myself for my birthday, I think about 2 years ago, and this is a piece by Fendi. And so this is a beautiful Zucca print canvas, and it's got this leather covered metal piece, and it's just got the little screws in a corner, and this has a rivet that you can adjust the bracelet to make it tighter or shorter. It has 3 fittings, and I love this, and I loved it because it was interesting and it was unique. So once it's on the wrist, it actually has a beautiful appearance, so that looks really impressive on. It almost has a bit of a watch look to it, but it's more of a cuff. Particular order, this is just a variety and mixture of brands. This one here I bought a couple years ago when I went into the city. This is one of the Louis Vuitton canvas pieces. It's got the beautiful leather here on the back. It's got the essential V, and the reason I bought this is because I had the essential, or I do have the essential V earrings, and I love this piece because it's monogram, and I actually, strangely enough, don't have a lot of canvas monogram anymore in my collection, but I loved it because it just has that nice sort of snug look. But would you believe, and I'm somewhat embarrassed to say, I've not worn it. So that's what that looks like. I've got the V facing down this way. And I think, you know, these type of pieces are great because they offer a fun, almost frivolous, almost colorful take on an item that ordinarily is of a traditional metal, and it just adds some interest. So this is still in pristine condition. I've not worn it, and I'm actually considering selling it because I've not worn it. But it is a beautiful piece. It truly is a beautiful piece. Do we see a pattern? Do we see a pattern? Next one is the Celine, and this is the double wraparound cuff, also in leather. It has the gold hardware, which is supposed to replicate the hardware on the box bag, I think, from memory. So anyway, this one wraps around twice. No, 3 times, even better. And I have worn this one a few times, I must admit. That just files through and that clips into that little hole. It's got the Celine here imprinted. The only thing I'm worried about with these type of pieces is about the logo wearing off, especially if it's not embossed into the leather. It will rub off depending on how you actually wear the piece. So that's what that looks like, and I liked it because it was a triple wraparound and it's got the accent of gold. So if you wanted to just have it that way, you can, so that this is not pressing down on a lot of things. but this is also quite a statement piece. Another Louis Vuitton cuff, and I think this is what started my cuff obsession. And this one here is a vintage piece, and this is in the Epi Electric. So it has the sort of a dark apricot Epi leather finish, but it's also got a vernis across the top of it. And this is one of the fleur patterns that is signature to LV. And this pops on, and I bought this for a steal from eBay. Of course, one of the Japanese eBay sellers. Most of the time, anything that I buy for my wrist is around the size 17. So that is a little bit sort of snug to put on over your hand. But once it's on the wrist, it's great. This one's gorgeous. And for its vintageness and for its age, it's actually quite beautiful. This too is adjustable because you can actually move this fleur further down and make it wider. So with these type of pieces, don't think that the size is fixed. For the most part, they actually are adjustable. So that's that one, and you can actually just disconnect underneath and move it along to make it a bit tighter. I'd forgotten how much I love this piece. Let's go to Louis Vuitton. If you know any of these little pouches, you know that what I'm about to show you is a lovely small piece of jewelry, and that is a pair of gorgeous dice earrings. Now I call them dice, but really they are a drop earring with the damier ebene cube just across here. It's got the various silver chains that dangle from them, and then it's got the stud across there with Louis Vuitton engraved all around. And I love these. And when I bought these from one of the Facebook groups, you know, the luxury ones. I loved these. I wore these so much, and they're not heavy. They're light, and they have an impact, and they're beautiful. These are not going anywhere. If you know me, you know I'm quite partial to dangly earrings, even though I'm currently wearing all and only studs. And this one here, which has a little bit of the chain effect. I've been wearing this for ages. Anyway, so these type of earrings is what I gravitate to the most. But inherently, I can't be bothered taking everything in and out. So if I can just change one pair and just have a dangly pair hanging here, I'll do that. But to change out all the rest, yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. Side point. Another pair of Louis Vuitton earrings, and this one came in a different pouch. This was purchased new from the boutique, and the others, like I said, pre-loved. These ones here are, and I adore these, These are the Essential V earrings. These have just enough drop, and I love it. When I wear these, I always receive compliments. I love these so much, which is why I bought that little monogram cuff, because the V would match. I love these so much that I'd love to get the little vault pendant or necklace with the little diamond in it, because that sort of picks up on the V. And I also adore their wide ring with the V across the top. The only reason I'm not buying that, or haven't ventured into buying that, is because of its price point. At least with these, which was a similar price point, I would get more use out of and damage less. So that's that reasoning. This is my first, was it my first? No, my second piece of Dior jewelry, and I bought this for myself. And this is one of their individual, oh my gosh, this is one of their individual earrings. And of course I say individual because I bought this one on its own. And this is similar to that, you know, the drop with the backing like that. So let me remove that. And if you wanted to, you could use any other earring or one of their plain pearl studs to put across the front. I chose the initial, so these are the Dior initial earrings. Of course I went for a T because my name is T. Talia, my daughter, her name also starts with T, so who knows, if these last one day, Talia can wear it. So that's that one. I've often thought about buying the matching one but with the star, and every time I pop into Dior, I always look at it, I always go to buy it, and I think, nah, and I'll explain why later. Next earring, here in my little Chanel pouch. These I purchased pre-loved from eBay. Of course they are all authentic, and these are just some light gold studs, and if you see clearly there, it's got some braiding across the front of them. They are a little bit sort of thick. These are absolutely beautiful, and it's got the little detail plug there at the back, which I would not be able to read at the moment if my life depended on it. So that's that pair, and I bought these specifically because they weren't blingy and they weren't the intricate type with all the jewels and so on across them. I thought these were somewhat understated. The other pair of Chanel earrings I have come in this little box. Those did not come in a box, but these were gifted to me by my brother and my sister-in-law for my 40th, which very soon will be 10 years ago. And these are my first ever pair of Chanel earrings, and these ones do have the little crystals across the front. These ones are somewhat understated. These would be more of that medium size. They're not the large size, they're more of the medium size, and I've had no problems with these, other than what must have happened is that the glue must have dried up, and that little plaque that usually comes at the back of Chanel earrings has fallen off. I still have it. It's sitting right in there. But I need to buy that special E6000 glue and glue it back on. No point taking it back to the boutique because these are so old they won't do anything with it. My first Gucci, and this is not costume jewelry, this one is in fact silver. I was gifted this by the same brother and his wife. This is turning into a big show and tell video. I don't mean it for that purpose, but anyway, the reason I'm doing it this way is so that I can give you my real first impressions in the second half of this video. This piece here is from Dior. This is silver, my understanding, or stainless steel. I don't remember, I bought this pre-loved, but this has got that Dior Trotter pendant in the pink and the white. There's a significance for the number 2, and I've forgotten what that is. And for the most part, this is my last costume jewelry piece, I think, although I probably have a couple more and I don't know where they are. And when I say that, it's because I don't know if you do this. Thumbs up, let me know if you do this in the comments below. But I can't decide if I want to keep all these things just in their pouches, in a drawer, or in the boxes away in all the other boxes. And so I do have other beautiful pieces, but sometimes I can't remember what they are because I'm just not consistent. That's my bad. I'm terrible like that. And the other piece I'll share with you is my one and only Chanel brooch, like this. And this is silver with the black onyx stones. Bought this also pre-loved from a Japanese eBay seller, and I love this piece. I'm not selling this. I'm going to keep this. I liked it because it was understated and it was different from the usual pearled and bejeweled ones. This one is just really sleek and chic. So now, the second part of this video, are these pieces worth it? So in the long run, no, they're not, simply because these will show more wear and tear than your other more precious metal pieces or other pieces that can stand the test of time. So far, I've not had any problems with these only because I've just not worn them all that much. But one thing to bear in mind, whenever you're wearing these type of pieces, you have to take them on and off. I'm the type of person that likes to wear my jewelry all the time, which means that if I'm washing dishes, I don't wear gloves. I can't be bothered doing that. If I'm showering, if I'm washing other things, if I'm doing household chores, whatever the case is, I don't take off my jewelry, which means that these things can easily become affected, damaged. The leather can crack after a while. If you wear these things for a long time, your sweat and your natural skin oils will start to be absorbed by the leather, unless you're dealing with a canvas that can't absorb anything. But if you're dealing with beautiful leather pieces, what happens after a while is that leather absorbs the sweat, our sweat and our dead skin cells and our body oils. We're a living organism, therefore living things are going to be transferring to these. That sounds grosser by the minute. But my point is, the leather will then become brittle. Even the canvas may become brittle, dry, and crack. In the long run, are these particular pieces worth it? No, they're not. Having said that, these types of jewelry pieces, now some of these are gold plated, some are not. But even those that are gold plated, unless they are properly made in the vermeil process, the gold plating wears off. You can't wear these if you're showering or going for a swim. The other thing about these is, depending on, for example, if you are someone like me who has many piercings, and a lot of these piercings are just standard earrings, standard studs, which have the long post behind, to then wear something like this means that those posts will inevitably end up scratching the part that sits behind. So what do you do then? Do you change out all your other earrings, or do you invest in a whole lot of new studs and just buy those flat back ones, so that's sort of like a flat disc at the back that slip into the post and then they just stay against your ear? I mean, these type of things long term are also not worth it. For the short term, these pieces are all worth it because they have an impact. They look beautiful. And if you're the type of person that gets bored by the same thing, seeing the same thing over and over again, which usually is me, even though I've been wearing the same rings and bracelets forever, then this is the way to go. If you're prepared to pay a lot of money for these individual pieces numerous times, but then look after them and don't wear them in the shower, don't spray perfume on them and all that type of thing, then you'll find that these pieces are worth it for you. But long term, in terms of longevity and in terms of resale value, these ones just are not worth it. In the end, like they say about war, the only thing that holds any value in war is land and gold. Well, this is the same thing. In the end, although a real piece of jewelry will cost more for the most part than some of this costume jewelry, it will stand the test of time. That leads me to my third part of this video, which is, although costume jewelry perhaps for the most part is not really worth it long term, you can still buy some beautiful quality jewelry from these same design houses. And the one that I have purchased most recently is my silver, and this is sterling silver. This has been made in that to look like a vintage piece. It's got the beautiful ornate work here across the G's, as you will see, and it is a stunning piece. I have been wearing this non-stop since I purchased it, and I've worn this in the shower, I've worn this house cleaning, I've worn this washing dishes. Unless I'm doing something very strenuous that requires a lot of rubbing or scrubbing or moving my hands against something, then I will take it off. But other pieces like this, so you've got your Pandora pieces, which at least are sterling silver, these type of things, I've been wearing these for ages. You put them in, they stay in, they don't discolor, they don't tarnish, and if they do, being sterling silver, you can clean it up very quickly. But when the other costume jewelry pieces do tarnish and change color, there's no way to restore that. You would need to have it either reglazed or recoated in some way, and that costs a lot of money, only for it then to come off again eventually in the long run. I have a couple of Swarovski pieces here, and I mean, I have others as well, but I didn't want to make this just a long video showing all my jewelry. If you want that, let me know. That'll be a long video. But these pieces here, these are Swarovski, and although these are just crystal, and when I say just crystal, I say that respectfully because, you know, crystal can be just as expensive as other precious metals, but at least these are sterling silver posts or backings to the particular pieces. Of course, I have the matching pairs. So in the end, is luxury jewelry worth it? Luxury costume jewelry, based on my collection, based on the fact that I have many pieces and I've worn many pieces and I've seen how some of them have deteriorated, I would say no. In terms of stones, clarity and quality, they tend to fall out more quickly in costume pieces than they do in fine jewelry. Having said that, people have still lost diamonds and all that type of thing, by all means. But usually the workmanship on a piece of real jewelry is a little bit better, stronger. Gold has a different finish to plated brass, or if a piece is silver but then gold plated, then that also has a little bit more longevity than the plated brass pieces. So really in the end it comes down to you, your personality, the type of person that you are. Do you like a variety of jewelry, or do you just like to have fewer pieces but higher quality? I like variety. And I'm the type of person that likes to change out my jewelry because I like to see different things on me. But then I will wear pieces for a long time, and then all of a sudden, bang, I'll move into a phase of swapping out my jewelry all the time. So in that phase, these luxury costume jewelry pieces are worth it. But for the long term, no, they're not. Well, everybody, that is my take on this particular topic. Let me know what you think. Which luxury designer costume jewelry pieces do you have? Do you only have fine jewelry? Do you have a collection of costume jewelry? Let me know what you think. I'd love to have a conversation with you in the comments. As usual, thank you Autumn, Yota, Gwenny, Winnie for working with me. This has been a bunch of fun. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I look forward to doing more collabs, and let me know guys if you would like to see more collabs. Actually, why not let me know who you'd like to see me collab with, and maybe I can reach out to them and say, hey, the people have spoken. What do you reckon? So take care everybody, God bless, and I'll see you next time. Ciao.